Hey there. Welcome to your deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
Today we're going to be talking all about automation.
I love it.
Now we're diving into a couple of podcasts from this guy, Shaun Whynacht.
Okay, cool.
He's a real expert in the field. And what I thought was so interesting is he is really putting this into practice
Yeah.
in his own business.
It's really fascinating how he kind of came to this automation thing, through his own journey. He
Yeah.
wasn't, born a tech guru.
Right.
He had this real interesting kind of diverse background.
Yeah, he's been a DJ. He's done video production, web design.
It's really cool.
Yeah, he's done it all.
And I think that's a really big takeaway.
Yeah.
For entrepreneurs is you have to adapt.
Right.
And embrace change and be willing to learn new skills.
Yeah, it's like he was constantly preparing for this automation world.
Exactly.
Without even knowing it.
Yeah.
And speaking of learning, he's also super open about, his struggles with self-doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's something we all kind of battle with,
Yeah.
those feelings of inadequacy.
Yeah.
But he had some really great practical tips, like going back and looking at your wins and positive feedback
Yeah.
to kind of bolster that confidence.
Oh, that's such a good reminder.
Yeah.
Because I think it's easy to forget,
Oh, absolutely.
about the good stuff.
Yeah. And you get caught up in the day-to-day.
Right.
But he also talks about the importance of having that pep rally person in your corner.
Oh, yeah.
Someone you can go to just get that encouragement and support when you're feeling down.
Who comes to mind for you when you think about that?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ponder that one for a minute.
Okay, well, let's shift gears a little bit
Uh-huh.
and dive into, his framework
Okay.
for analyzing your business tasks.
Yeah.
He breaks it down into these three categories.
He does.
Right?
Yeah. Revenue generating, potentially revenue generating,
Right.
and non-revenue generating.
Yeah. And I love this because it helps you prioritize what to automate or delegate.
For sure.
Okay, so let's break those down a little bit.
Okay.
When he says revenue generating, what exactly does he mean by that?
So these are the tasks that are directly tied to getting paid.
Okay.
So like your client meetings, delivering your service,
Right.
closing those deals.
Got it.
Those are the money makers.
Those are the money makers.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
And then potentially revenue generating those sound intriguing.
Yeah, so these are things that could lead to revenue, but aren't a guaranteed paycheck.
Okay.
So things like content creation,
Okay.
networking,
Got it.
building your online presence.
So these are the things that build the pipeline.
Exactly.
Yeah, and create those opportunities.
Cultivate those future opportunities.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So then what about those tasks that don't directly bring in the money, the non-revenue generating?
Right. These are the things that are essential for running your business smoothly,
Okay.
but they can be a real time suck.
Right.
So things like bookkeeping,
Oh, yeah.
administrative tasks, scheduling, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, so this is where I see this going.
Yeah.
By categorizing these tasks, you can really see, okay, where can I free up my time and my energy
Exactly.
by automating some of this stuff?
Absolutely. And that's a big part of his strategy. Is,
Right.
For those non-revenue generating tasks, automate or delegate as much as possible.
Yes. Get that off your plate.
Get it off your plate.
I love it.
Now the potentially revenue generating ones.
Okay.
It's all about streamlining.
Okay.
Using automation to enhance that process.
Right, so you can do more of it.
Exactly. You can do more of the things that could bring in that revenue,
Right.
but without having to be bogged down
Got it.
by those tasks.
That's so helpful.
Yeah.
Now, what about those core revenue generating activities?
Yeah, so he suggests enhancing those with automation,
Huh.
but avoiding going fully automatic.
Okay.
Because these often require that personal touch.
Right. You don't want to lose the human connection,
Exactly.
especially in those areas.
You need to have that relationship, especially when you're building trust and closing deals.
Yeah. Does he have any examples of how this looks like in practice?
He does. He talks about how he uses AI to streamline his $97 marketing assessment.
Okay.
So he used to spend a lot of time, manually analyzing client responses and creating these reports.
Right.
But now he's using ChatGPT
Yep.
integrated with his CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Management,
Okay.
to do a lot of the heavy lifting.
So is AI analyzing the data
Yes.
and like creating a first draft of the report?
Yes, that's exactly what it's doing.
Oh, that's so amazing.
It's pretty incredible.
That is working smarter, not harder.
Right.
It makes you think what tasks are eating up your valuable time
Yeah.
that you could potentially automate.
That's the question.
Right.
And I think it's important to remember, as Shaun kind of emphasizes, don't automate just for the sake of automation.
Right.
Automate when there's a pain point
Right.
or a bottleneck in your business.
Yeah. Don't jump on the bandwagon just
Exactly.
because it's trendy.
Don't do it because it's the cool thing to do.
Right. Exactly.
But, while it might be tempting to automate every single client touch point,
Yeah.
he highlights the importance of maintaining that genuine human interaction
Yeah.
in those revenue-generating tasks. He uses the example of client follow-up.
Yeah. I can see how that could get really impersonal quickly if you just automate it.
Yeah, so he believes in injecting those personal touches into that process.
Okay.
He even shares this anecdote about holiday cards. He says he'd rather send 50 heartfelt handwritten cards
Wow.
than 300 generic ones.
I love that.
Yeah.
It shows he really values that human touch,
For sure.
which I think is so important in this
Absolutely.
increasingly automated world. Speaking of, finding the right balance between tech and human touch, what AI tools does he recommend?
So he's a big fan of ChatGPT, especially the paid version that allows you to create those custom GPTs.
Okay, custom GPTs.
Oh.
That sounds interesting. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So basically, you can train ChatGPT on your own writing style.
Oh, wow.
So that it can generate content that truly reflects your voice.
Okay, so it's not just like a robot writer.
No.
It's still your unique style,
Exactly.
just with some AI assistance.
With a little help.
Yeah. Okay, what other tools are on his list?
So he also recommends Zapier for connecting apps and automating workflows.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like the glue
I love that.
that holds all of your tech tools together.
Okay.
So they can talk to each other.
I love that analogy.
He also mentions Fathom for AI-powered note-taking during client meetings.
Oh, wow.
So you can really stay present in the conversation.
That's a game changer for anybody who struggles with note-taking and listening
Oh, yeah.
at the
Perfect.
same time.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else?
And then finally, he recommends Motion, which is a project management tool
Okay.
that has AI-driven calendar integration that can automatically schedule tasks.
That's like having an AI assistant keeping you on track.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And it's amazing how, these tools can really just free up so much mental space
Oh, yeah.
for you to focus on those bigger picture things.
Yeah.
And what I love is how he really makes these tools feel accessible to anyone.
Yeah.
He shares a story about a 70-year-old workshop participant
Wow.
who had this aha moment when she realized how ChatGPT could analyze resumes and streamline her process.
Wow. If she can do it, anyone can.
Exactly. It's not just for the tech wizards.
Right.
It's about empowering people to
Yeah.
work smarter.
Regardless of their background.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
And that kind of, reminds me of another interesting point that Shaun makes about building a team.
Okay.
He actually had some challenges finding skilled and dedicated local talent, which
Yeah.
led him to explore building a global team.
Oh, that's so interesting. I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, it's incredible how location is becoming less of a barrier in today's world, right? He really emphasizes being open to talent outside your immediate area.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best fit for your team might come from unexpected places.
I love that.
It's a reminder to think outside the box.
Right. And our usual boundaries.
For sure.
Yeah. It sounds like he really values that personal connection
He does.
and finding a team that feels like a true community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it really makes you think about, how is the definition of a local business changing
It really does.
in this interconnected world?
That's something we're going to delve into a little bit deeper in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear more.
Me too. Picking up where we left off, Shaun's experience building this global team
Right.
really highlights how technology is kind of blurring those geographical boundaries.
Yeah, it is.
And it really challenges us to rethink what it means to be a local business.
That's such an interesting point. Did he elaborate on that at all?
He did. He actually talks about, realizing that he's not so much a local business as a business that happens to be located
Right.
in a particular place.
But his clients are, all over Canada and the U.S.
Exactly. And it really got me thinking about how, we can connect with people worldwide,
Right.
build relationships, do business without ever being in the same physical space.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It opens up so many possibilities for people who may have felt limited by their location in the past.
Absolutely.
But it seems like Shaun found a way to kind of bridge that gap between his physical location and his global reach in another way too, right? Didn't he talk about being active in his local community?
He did. He talks about how he enjoys, doing workshops and networking events
Right.
in his local community, not necessarily for sales, but just to share his knowledge and connect with people.
That's so cool. Even though his clients are geographically dispersed, he still finds a way to give back and be a part of that community.
Exactly. And I think it speaks to the importance of, finding that balance between our online and offline lives.
Right.
And, it also kind of touches on another theme that comes up a lot in his discussions, which is this idea of self-worth.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
What were his thoughts on that?
So for Shaun, self-worth is about doing what feels good, what he enjoys,
Yeah,
finding that sense of fulfillment in the work,
totally. I can relate to that.
and, really kind of, aligning with your purpose rather than just, chasing external validation.
Yes.
He also emphasizes the importance of, finding a team that shares your values and work ethic.
Right.
And he actually mentions how, some of his experiences hiring locally
Yeah.
were challenging because, some people just seemed more focused on, salary
Right.
than on actually, contributing to this shared vision.
Right. It's so important to find those people who are really passionate and
Exactly.
buy into the bigger picture.
Absolutely. And, it sounds like his global team, really embodies that.
Yeah.
Did he have any advice for finding those people? He really emphasizes being open to talent outside your immediate area.
Right.
Not being afraid to think outside the box.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best fit comes from those unexpected places.
Like we were saying before, breaking down those barriers.
Exactly.
It sounds like he really values that personal connection and finding a team that feels like a true community.
He does.
Were there any challenges, though,
There were.
that he talked about in terms of building a global team?
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned that, communication and coordination can sometimes be more complex with team members, spread across different time zones.
Makes sense.
But, he also emphasized the importance of, clear communication,
Right.
establishing strong systems and processes
Yeah.
to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Right. And ultimately, it sounds like the benefits outweigh the challenges.
They do.
Did he talk about any other, lessons he's learned along the way in terms of building his business?
He did. He actually had some interesting thoughts on, being willing to fire clients who aren't a good fit.
Okay.
He realized that sometimes holding on to clients who aren't aligned with your values or who are creating unnecessary stress
Yeah.
can actually be detrimental to
Yeah.
your business in the long run.
That's tough, but it's important.
It is.
It's so easy to want to please everybody.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
You want to take every client.
Yeah. It's about finding the right clients,
It is.
the ones that value what you do and that you enjoy working with.
Absolutely. And, it's about setting those boundaries, prioritizing your own well-being, personally and professionally.
Totally.
And it actually reminds me of a quote that Shaun mentioned that really resonated with him.
Oh, okay. What is it?
He said, "If you can't change the people around you, you change the people around you."
Wow. That's powerful.
Mm.
What do you think he means by that?
I think it's about taking ownership of your environment,
Yeah.
recognizing that you have the power to choose who you surround yourself with.
Right.
Sometimes that means making tough decisions like letting go of clients or team members who aren't aligned or who are just creating unnecessary negativity.
Yeah. And remembering that we actually have more control
Yeah.
than we think
We do.
over our environment. Choosing to surround ourselves with people who support us and inspire us,
For sure.
which actually perfectly segues into Shaun's legacy quote.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember what it is?
I do.
Rami.
It's not what people say to your face. It's what people say when you're not there that matters.
Right.
That speaks volumes about his values and priorities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's not focused on superficial charm
No.
or, winning everybody over.
Yeah.
He's focused on building a reputation
Absolutely.
based on genuine kindness and respect,
Yeah.
which actually ties back to his philosophy on business, right?
Hmm.
Didn't he say people buy with emotion and then justify with logic?
He did. And it reminds me of a story he shared about a client who was running for mayor. And she was asked this question, about her opponent.
Right.
And, instead of kind of engaging in that negativity,
Right.
she really just gracefully steered the conversation back to her own values and
Right.
her message.
What a great example of how that authenticity and integrity can really resonate
Yeah.
with people.
It's about connecting on that deeper level,
Yeah.
building trust.
And so even though Shaun, may not be a local business in the traditional sense,
Right.
it seems like he's found a way to build this really thriving community around his work,
Yes.
both online and offline.
Absolutely. And it's really inspiring.
His commitment to connecting with people authentically and making a positive impact.
It is.
It shows that success isn't just about achieving financial goals, right?
Yeah.
It's about finding a sense of purpose and fulfillment
Exactly.
in the work that you do.
And using your platform to make a positive difference in the world.
I couldn't agree more. It's about building a business and a life
Yeah.
that feels aligned with your values.
Yes.
And that brings you joy.
Speaking of joy,
Okay.
did you know that Shaun is a certified pyrotechnician?
Wait, what? He knows how to handle fireworks?
It does.
That's amazing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It seems like he's always been fascinated by how things work.
Right.
As a kid, he even used to take apart fireworks.
Oh my gosh.
And rebuild them.
Wow. You have to admire that curiosity and that willingness to experiment,
You do.
which actually I think speaks to his approach with automation.
It does.
Always exploring new tools and pushing the boundaries.
Exactly. It's that same spirit, of exploration and innovation that really drives his work with automation.
Right.
He's not afraid to try new things, to experiment, to find those creative solutions.
I love that.
He's always looking for ways to improve his processes and, make things more efficient,
Right.
both in his business and in his life.
And it all comes back to this, this theme of automation and how it can free up our time
It does.
so we can focus on the things that really matter.
Absolutely.
Shaun's story really reminds us that automation isn't about replacing human connection.
No,
It's about enhancing it.
it is.
It's about finding that sweet spot between leveraging technology
Right.
and maintaining that authenticity.
Absolutely.
It's about using automation to streamline our work so we can create more space for creativity, connection, and joy.
I think that's a great place to pause for now.
Okay.
But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to wrap up this deep dive into automation.
Welcome back to the show. We've covered so much in this deep dive into automation with Shaun Whynacht.
We have so much to unpack.
From streamlining those tasks to building a global team.
Right. And I think, as we wrap up,
Yeah.
it's worth revisiting some of those key takeaways.
Okay.
Shaun's story really highlights how automation can transform our businesses and our lives.
It really can.
But it's not about just, automating everything. Right. It's about approaching it strategically.
Right. It's about finding those pain points and bottlenecks in your business and seeing if automation can help you.
Exactly. And remembering that, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
It's about finding the right tools and processes
Right.
that work for you and your business.
That'll work for you. Yeah.
And, he also encourages us to experiment.
Yeah.
There are so many amazing tools out there.
There are.
ChatGPT, Zapier, Fathom Motion.
All designed to make our lives easier.
Exactly, to help us work smarter, not harder.
I love it. And I think maybe most importantly, Shaun reminds us that AI isn't about replacing human connection.
No.
It's about enhancing it.
Right.
It's about freeing up our time and energy
Yeah.
so we can focus on those things, like building meaningful relationships.
With our clients and our team.
Right.
It's about finding your tribe, whether they're local or global,
Yeah.
and nurturing those relationships.
Yeah.
Those connections are really the foundation
Yes.
of a thriving and fulfilling business.
And he also reminds us to embrace change
Right.
and never stop learning
Yeah,
because the world of technology is constantly evolving.
it is.
So we need to stay curious and adaptable.
Absolutely. And stay true to yourself and your values.
Right.
Remember Shaun's legacy quote.
Yes.
It's not what people say to your face, it's what they say when you're not there that matters.
Oh, that one really stuck with me.
Me too.
It's a reminder to build a reputation based on integrity and authenticity.
Right.
Focus on making a positive impact,
Yeah.
not chasing that superficial validation.
Absolutely. And remember that, success isn't just about those financial goals.
Right.
It's about finding purpose and fulfillment in the work you do
Yeah.
and using your platform to make a difference.
I think Shaun really embodies all of that.
He does.
He's built a successful business, but he prioritizes giving back to his community,
Yeah.
making a positive impact,
And he has fun doing it.
and having fun.
Yeah.
Remember, he's a certified pyrotechnician.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
It's that, playful curiosity and willingness to experiment that really shines through.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's
Yeah.
leave you with this question.
Okay.
What one thing could you automate in your business right now?
And what would that free you up to do?
Think about it. Dream big.
Yeah.
And start taking steps toward a more automated and fulfilling life.
Happy automating.